Yo, people, lateness is greatness. Welcome back into the building. You already know what time it is. It's time for the preview for Chelsea versus Everton. And the preview team is in the building. We got Mayo and we got Sam. You know what I'm saying? Shit don't change around here. We're keeping it nice and consistent. You can expect us every weekend before the weekend games. And before we even get into that, people, big up yourselves in the chat. I can see you guys in there. Trying to see where my regulars are. I recognize Extreme Season, Bambo, BP Productions. I'm glad you made it because last time you were saying you didn't get to meet the live one for yesterday's stream. So listen, we have to start, guys. Before I even get into the Everton game, because obviously last time we played them, I think we lost 2-0. That was the start of our bad run under Lampard, and it all just like snowballed from there. And obviously we'll get into all of that. But I just want to get your thoughts on what was, for me, one of the most, arguably the best result of the season, because that's obviously the season. That's the result where the confidence is coming from in terms of coming into this. I think the Atletico game was just below it because it's not done yet. It was just one leg, so it's really the job's not done. It's only half time. Whereas this game is just completed, full 93 points and bounce. Yeah, I mean, start with you, Mayo. What did you make of that Liverpool game, and obviously confidence taking into this game, because that was nuts for us.
Liverpool one was a big one. I mean, they're both sort of disciples of Ragnick. Liverpool are a good side for all of their troubles they're going through, and of course they've got this horrible home form, but it is a good side still. And for all the teams we faced up until this point, I kind of described it here a few weeks ago, where it's kind of preseason, and now we're getting into the nitty-gritty results. And people kind of saying before, oh, you guys probably get one win. That was, including that result, that was 3 W's and the draw against United when United play stale football. And it's not just, for me, it's not just about the result, it was the display as well. It's one thing to get result, it's another thing to get display. Jorge looked like a man possessed. Kante looked like Kante we know. And for me, I think the biggest one, like, big up Lewis wherever he is. I'm not going to come and start screaming, oh, he's the man and everything, because I've said that this is what he needs to do. But Christensen, if you compare that match in terms of when we lost at the Bridge to that match, it's a completely different team. We dominated them. We didn't get no red cards. They had no attacking threat against us. The only thing that went bad in that match was the fact that Timo's goal didn't go in. That was the only negative that day, because I can't imagine being in like not goal scoring form. Then you score a really good goal and it gets taken away from you. The game, in terms of Tuchel's tactics, in terms of what the team did, everything to a T was like done. Mason Mount, again, we said it here, in terms of the team attacking threat from elsewhere. The last 2 games, he's been a man possessed. Like the way he's dribbling at people, the way he's committing to kind of get past people, he looks a man possessed. I feel like everyone is relishing the fact that there's competition. So I'm really impressed, and for me, it's the perfect thing you need for the Everton game. It's like let's go on and do something there. Then we've got Leeds, and then it's Atleti, and then we go into a period where the games calm down a bit. So it's let's finish now. We're halfway through this sort of hard spell. Let's finish off, and then cruise control. Make sure we get top 4. Make sure we win a trophy. But I was really impressed, man, especially with Jorginho. I've not seen a man play like that. I can't even recall the last time. Interception.
Do you know what it is? Because when you see Xhaka against Arsenal, losing messing up in the deep area of the pitch where you're getting pressed, and obviously the goal comes from Chris Wood. That's where I'm like, yo, that's where Jorginho needs to respect, because to play.
That's what when that happened. That's what I literally said as well. You know, I was like, Jorginho would never do that.
Yeah, like it was. To be honest, because he's not right-footed, isn't it? Because what we were seeing on the screen was just use your right foot first time, ping that out to the right. Do you know what I mean? Doesn't even need to be perfect. Doesn't need to be perfectly weighted. Just get it out of that area. But it's Xhaka in it, so I mean,
you chose the wrong pass.
I just look at Jorginho.
You chose the wrong pass. I don't know why he tried to loft it, but like for me, it wasn't even like when Jorginho did that turn against Liverpool. It was the basics, which he's kind of been criticized for so long, in terms of he doesn't have. I've always said that he's good at interceptions. Like if you check like his stuff and everything, because he doesn't run around and everything, he actually tends to clean up. But because people run past him and that stuff all the time, it looks a lot worse. And sometimes he's not doing a lot. But the passing, we know he can pass, but interceptions, he was there. I saw him robbing Thiago of the ball like 3 or 4 times. I saw him being his man. I saw him being aggressive. I was like, it was crazy. And then to add on top of that, I think someone online said Kante was playing invisible 6. Like we're playing Kante, Jorginho, and Kante. Like, around him. Like it was done to a T. And that's the sort of thing. If you can kind of perfect that, you're laughing. Like Kante was playing one-touch football. There was patterns of play.
Yeah.
From the assist.
How many times were we passing forward? Like how many times? Like how long had we been in a situation where we were like, why are we not passing the ball forward? Why are we not trying to be progressive? Why are we doing like 5 passes to kind of get to one place? Also, pop, ball forward. Like it was a really, really good team performance, and you saw how much it meant to them. And yeah, Everton's a tricky game. I don't think they'll have James, but Everton's a tricky game.
Yeah, I've always said for me personally, the pivots in terms of options, I feel like it's got to be Jorginho with Kovacic or Jorginho with Kante or Gilmour with Kovacic, Gilmour with Kante. I know Kova and Kante played together against Man United and we obviously didn't lose, but for me, that pivot that we saw against Liverpool is stronger because you've got someone like Jorginho who will dictate, who will do all the things that you said he would do there. And then you've got Kante who roams. And I feel like when Kova and Kante play, I know it's a back 3, so there's a little bit less need for maybe someone to naturally sit because you've got 3 defenders, but I feel like they both are not similar, but they both roam in different ways. And I feel like Jorginho is a little bit more unique in that respect. And we saw it. He was excellent. Do you know what I mean? Kante, that's what I want to see on the ball. Do you know what I mean? I'm not even really looking for the assist from him. I know he got it and it was a fantastic pass. Obviously, Jorginho, for me, I'm claiming Jorginho and Werner got their assist and goal because I don't know what's going on there. That ain't right. Do you know what I mean? Football cannot be moving like that. If anything, they're going to kill the sport moving like that. But I just felt like Kante on the ball, that's what, just clean. Simple and clean. Do you know what I mean? Because he can dribble if he need be. He can do those things. So I don't even need him to be expansive on the ball. It's never been his thing. Nice and keep it clean, calm, collective, and keep the ball. I mean, Sam, what did you make of it, bro? And how confident are you now going into this game after that big boy result?
I was gassed because I done a stream watching the game as well. And obviously, like, it's hard. Like I said to you, man, before, it's hard doing streams watching Chelsea. It was hard doing streams watching Chelsea because you don't know what Chelsea side's going to come out, yeah. But from the first minute, you could just tell everyone wanted it, man. And there was like structure to the passion, to the work rate. Like, it's not like everyone was just running hell skelter. You could see the patterns of play. You could see where the players should be and where they was. Like the Christensen, I've been one of his biggest critics, yeah, but he was, I think he was man of the match in that game. Like the way he took control, like from every bad situation, you just always see Christensen clean up. You'll see the composure on the ball. Like in the midfield, you see Jorginho, like you said, Jorginho winning the ball off of Thiago. Everyone's saying all of this idea ball. He had no ideas in that game, fam. Like man was actually saying, not on my pitch. Like that's the type of hunger that I think Tuchel's kind of added to this team. Obviously, we see him on the sideline and the amount of like energy, amount of passion that he's had, but you can see that he's transferred into the squad, and everyone that comes on, everyone that's playing from the first minute, they just wanted it, man. It was an exciting watch, and I'd never really thought. Obviously, they had that one moment when Mane did that volley. If he just kind of side-footed it, then he might have caused us a problem. But man used the maddest technique, so we were lucky there. But in terms of anything else, like I think they only had their XG in the first half. Obviously, if you're into XG, I think it was like 0.02 or something mad. Like they didn't create any chances.
All game, wasn't it? That we
we didn't allow them. Like the fact that we know that they're an injured giant, but we're normally that team to kind of let you know what I mean, like let teams kind of build momentum against us, even like the Southampton game, like that type of trauma. Obviously, you go into this game, you're thinking, hopefully that don't happen again. But from first minute, they said, not today. Like we should have scored. We should have scored more. Like every game, that's our biggest issue. But with Money Mason aside, man, we're just gonna that guy. Like what more can we actually say about him? Like he actually is proving everyone, like every doubter that is still trying to make noise after each game, they're just being silenced because he's proven he's all around ability. It's crazy, bro. Like his ceiling is mad.
For me, I mean, Ben's asking it here. For me, world class. Do you know what I'm saying? World class and potential captain. Do you know what I mean? For me, I always had Reece James actually slightly ahead of him last year for captain, because I just felt like in Reece's position, he's more likely to be a starter every week. Whereas Mace, I was like, you know, he's improving, cool, but midfield for Chelsea's always been hectic if we're at our best and in our prime. Lampard, Ballack, Essien, it's always been mad. And I felt like, you know, you sign Kai, you never know who can come in. Declan, if they're targeting him from last summer, you know, all these guys, you know, whoever comes in, it's always going to be a fight. But I'm not going to lie, he's showing that. And right now, obviously, I would never put him in that position because Aspilicueta, I got to give him the respect. Even when Cahill wasn't starting under Sarri, he still had it. Even when Terry wasn't starting under Conte in the title-winning season, he still had it. There's no real need to shake the cart. But in terms of where he's going to be top. He's going to be world-class because, for me, the work rate that he puts in, I mean, when he's playing the game, like we said before, everybody's saying, why don't you drop him? Why don't you drop him? I don't have no business. I have no problem taking him out the team if need be. If we had other players on better form, if he wasn't playing well, you wouldn't see me stuttering and crying about having to take him out the team. I wouldn't care. Do you know what I'm saying? We only want him to win. However, there was no logical reason because not only are players behind him on form, every time he's playing, you can see every ounce of himself is going into that game. Do you know what I'm saying? Every time he gets the ball, he is making sure that everything he does, he's doing it to the maximum and trying his absolute hardest to pull off the perfect pass. It might always come off, but you can see the effort that's being put in. The way the brother literally sometimes will, like, you can see him moving into the pass. Like, that is how much effort I can see the brother is, like, the aim. Like, you can see he's so focused and concentrated when he's playing. There's at no point where he's like, you know, just like nonchalantly just chilling or just going with the flow. He is moving at 100 miles per hour at all times. And it's not just about pressing. It's not just about, you know, work rate off the ball. It's about on the ball. He's moving like as if there's like the time is going down on the clock. Like there's an urgency. That's what I like. There's an urgency. And to be honest, when he plays with an urgency, it looks bad if you're just alongside him, just chilling. You have to.
He actually makes Ziyech look mad. Like, because you know what it is? Like, during that game, I wouldn't, like, obviously Ziyech didn't have the greatest game, but it's like, because we're so used to the work rate Mount is giving off of the ball, even when he loses it, the work rate that he does, he puts it in to get the ball back. Yeah. When you see on the other side, Ziyech losing the ball, and it's unfortunate because it's like, oh, look, Mount's doing this, and you can't, like, you're not even busting a gut, but he might be busting a gut, but because Mount's level is so high, it's like everyone else around him looks worse, and that's my only worry. Obviously, we're not going to go into that too tough, but going into the second leg with Mount not playing, like that is probably a bigger loss than Jorginho. Like,
the thing with Mount, is that Mount is a really good player and he's still so young. That is the thing that people seem to forget. And like, when I kind of look at Arsenal with Saka and how Saka's become, or arguably their most important player, like you might say that Aubameyang's a better player, whatever you want to say, but in terms of the moment when you looked at it, it was like Saka's not there. It's like, oh my gosh, what's going on? Chelsea have the same thing with Mason Mount. Like, he's so important. You've seen it when he's not in the side, and he's carrying so much pressure but still delivering. I remember when it was early on in the season, and I was thinking, you know what? He's in a situation where he needs to be taken out of the lineup because there's so much pressure on him. The kid still performed through it. Like, people criticizing him, perform. People overpraising him, perform. Like, he just constantly gives you. You're always, you're never going to get below a 7 with him. Like, he's always going to give you something. Like, and that is credit to him as a footballer. Like, he's always going to show up. He's always going to maximize his ability and deliver. And he has so much potential because people still always talk about now, like, oh, but he's not that sick. He's not that the other guy. He's not this and that. And that's maybe because they're not seeing the flair or stuff like that. But if you've been watching him close in the last 2 games, especially,
he's sitting down players still.
He's going wild. He's going mad. He's actually going mad. And this is someone that can play in different positions. Anytime you ask something of him, he delivers. And I don't know what you want from a player. Like, I would rather have a player that delivers every time you ask him rather than having someone that has all the ability then he can't give me the minimum requirement. So I'm not surprised by what he's doing. Like, this is someone that's always shown through academy, through his loan spells, that he can perform. He can perform if you put him. So he is going to be important as ever. Well, I think, Matisse, you've hit the nail on the head. That is a future captain. You just look at him and you can tell that other players are looking at him and being like, okay, we're looking to
step it up.
So no, hold tight him, hold tight the whole squad, hold tight as I've been calling it, the audit. The audit has been making sense. Like, the only players that we've not really been seeing is Emerson. Apart from that, we've seen everyone else. We don't see Emerson because Emerson,
that guy.
But we've seen everyone else, and everyone else, because of that, because they're getting their minutes here, is trying to step up and trying to make sure that next season they are getting, like, they are the first name in the team sheets, and there's no big signing. So it's good moving forward. Man, moving forward to the Everton game, that's where it gets interesting. Someone's asking that, would you have Silva back? Because Silva should be fit. That's where it gets interesting now, because in that middle position, the only three people that realistically are going to play are Christensen, Zuma, and Thiago. Zuma has not performed better than Christensen. Christensen's been on form. Thiago just coming back. You have to start Christensen. It's very unfair. It's very, very unfair to take him up. And I don't feel like Christensen, you get the best out of him in the two side centre back position. Same with Thiago. So it's always going to be one or the other.
You think so?
It's always going to be one of it. You wouldn't put Thiago on the left. You wouldn't put on the right. You wouldn't put if it's a free anyway. You wouldn't put Christian on the left or the right either, because you want your ball playing centre back to be there, kind of be composed, kind of sweep round. Don't exert too much energy. Rudiger has really adapted to his role of, okay, anything in this channel I'm going to deal with. I'm going to be there. And if I flop, you're there to cover behind me. Like when Mane went through, Christensen was there. He actually looked really quick as well. Like,
he is quite quick.
So, but that's what you're there for. You're there to sort of orchestrate ball play, and if in doubt, you're the safe sort of option. And then the other two centre backs kind of you're more can go forward, but they destroy everything in the channels and they cover the fullbacks. I don't see Thiago going out to cover a wing back. Like, it's not him. Like,
I don't think I'd want him to anyway, because he's 36, isn't it? You don't really. It's not what they're needed for.
Exactly. And Christensen in the three looks comfortable. I felt for that if you put him in the other position, he may be able to try it, but it's almost like putting him back in the two again. And I kind of have those sort of recollections of what was happening before. So it's one of those two in the middle. But and
he's growing in confidence as well. He's growing in confidence. Like, you have to, like, he's a confidence player. Like, you can tell he's building momentum. Like, if it was on FIFA and you had his bar is very high right now. Man's confident. Like, the composure that he was showing in the game against Liverpool was even, like, it was scary at times, because I was thinking, like, are you gonna show any sense of being worried? Like, players were all around him. He was getting out of situations. He was passing it out to Aspie or Rudiger, and it was quality, man. Like, obviously Silva's coming back, but at the same time, like, now unfortunately he got injured at a time where it's not even unfortunate. He brought the best out of Christensen, so now he can. Hopefully, we don't have any other injuries, but if we do have a few run of games, which we probably do coming to the end of the season, we can switch in and out and be confident that, okay, Christensen, because realistically we need to build for the future. Thiago Silva came in to bring that experience, to bring that composure, and if the players have learnt from that, and he has a few games here and there, then he's done his job.
Yeah. Do you know what? It's lovely to see that. Now, because we was all worried that when Silva got injured, what would we do? And Silva, even when he's fit, is still going to need to be rotated out of this team and given rest and all that kind of stuff. So it's just fantastic to know that Christensen's reliable. And I think in terms of players, obviously we spoke about Mount, but in terms of the players in this run as well that need that praise is that defense. 2 goals conceded. One of them is an own goal. Do you know what I mean? One of them is a freak accident. So on top, so you're looking at a team that have barely conceded any shots on target against Atletico. Same with Liverpool now. Man United, in the first half as well, no shots on target for them. It's not even the fact that our goalkeeper's having great performances. They're not allowing shots. Do you know what I mean? That is the sign of a defence that is not playing about. They're not even allowing chances. That is, for me, that's been the biggest thing. So obviously the system helps them. We spoke about that with the back three, and obviously like that, exactly what you'd want. You know, cover for your defenders that are not world class, that, you know, have flaws in their game. But when it comes to Christensen as well, I think he's had so much up and down at Chelsea, whether it's in and out of the team, good moments, bad moments. I do feel like it would be mad if he came out of the team in this game, because I feel like you said, he's a confidence player, and I feel like it would affect him. You know, some other players you can say, yo, that wouldn't affect him. You keep it moving, take him out, raw, doesn't matter. Christensen, I wouldn't be so sure. And I was actually, you know, I was thinking to myself, when do we actually have to play Silva? Like, when is he absolutely needed back? I would say Atletico. I'd say, even though we kept the clean sheet against Atletico, obviously we're 1-0 up now, second leg, this is going to be a bit different. We've got a couple suspensions. Silva has to play in that for me. But until then, you could probably get away with not playing him, even though he's our best defender. But it's an interesting one, because, again, it's about the mental of a player.
Do you know what's
really
funny? That's all of this as well. Like, you see with Christensen, and that's what I was saying. I give him his praise because of how he's coming to the team. I feel like the system definitely enables the defenders to defend better.
Yeah.
But what is really interesting now is, with his age and with everything, in order to know whether Christensen can perform at this level, we have to see consistency. Because he's one of the people where, apart from the Mönchengladbach, you haven't seen a lot of like a full season of him, if you get where I'm coming from. We haven't seen that. I think in Chelsea, what's probably the most in terms of what he's contributed? Was it Conte?
Conte, yeah. It was Conte, under Conte, the three at the back.
Yeah.
Was it the whole season he was in it?
No, of course not. When we won the title, no, because David Luiz, Cahill, and Aspilicueta. So no.
Exactly. So we've seen him in spurts, and we have maybe 10 games left this season. He's played a few now. I want to see how long he can maintain a level for. Because as a centre back, right? Centre back's not one of those positions like centre mid or winger where it's kind of like, you know what, I'm feeling for a different flavour, I'll bring this guy as to give another option. Your centre backs are usually your centre backs. You never really change. And for him, if he wants to go to a level and be an established centre back, even if it's not for us, he has to perform consistently. Yeah. So that is his challenge now. Okay, I've got into the team, I'm performing well, we're doing well as a unit. Can I maintain this level for an extended period of time? Because having a few games is great.
We're talking seasons here, isn't it? Same with Rudiger.
Same with Rudiger. Like with Rudiger, like we've seen him be good, like we've seen him be bad. And like I know when he got injured, he came back and never really looked like the same player. But at the moment, we're kind of seeing the levels that we first saw. We thought this guy might be decent, you know. Can you maintain that? Can you go a stretch of games without making a mistake? Yeah. That's what we need to see now. So Everton game's a good test. Richarlison, my guy.
He's building in confidence as well.
4-4. Like he's gonna be up for the challenge. You get me? It's Calvert-Lewin should be fit. He needs a few goals. Digne, fantastic, or Dean as they call him, fantastic player. Deliveries. Their midfield is a good midfield as well. It's going to be a very, very tight battle. And of course, this is an experienced manager as well. Ancelotti is an experienced manager. He's been in these sort of positions before. They've had a few games where they've slipped up, where they should have capitalized, but they've got no European football to worry about. They can throw everything at this game and be like, okay, you know what, tired, we'll move on. So, yeah, let's probably go into that and talk about that.
Yeah, and just before we do, this is why praise and isolations for defenders, because until they win a title here, do you know what I'm saying? You haven't really done Chelsea levels yet. Do you know what I mean? So praise and isolation, see if you can be consistent, and then you know what I mean. If you manage to take us back to the pinnacle, then that's when we can say, cool, your levels, and that's us being completely wrong about your ability previously. Going into Everton, I mean. You spoke about it before. I mean, we lost to them 1-0 at the start of that bad run under Lampard. Richarlison was a pain in the ass, causing a load of problems. Calvert-Lewin, you know, again, in search for a goal. We've seen his improvement this season in terms of his heading ability, especially. You know, it's the way that they've been playing under Carlo, again, very organised, a team that know what they're doing. And again, if you look at the league table, they are right up there, you know, they're challenging for top 4 as much as anybody else. In fact, they're above their neighbours, Liverpool, who we just beat. So again, you maybe say, really, this is a more difficult game on paper, to be honest, with all the injuries Liverpool have. When it came to Man United as well, I didn't really think that was actually, I knew Man United 0-0. That's what they're coming for. So I actually thought if we could just nick it, we've won. So I didn't look at them as a team where I'm scared of. Everton, out of the three, probably might even pose the most difficult challenge. Everton always pose us problems anyway. 3 wins on the bounce, 1 point behind us with a game in hand. So again, we're coming up against a team who've got a game in hand. And we're not clear of. So it's all good being in the top 4, but now we need to go clear. Now we need to cement ourselves. Now we need to pull away, because we keep saying it. The last few fixtures of the season are difficult, but not only that as well. There's no reason why this team can't go and finish second if they're serious. Because
we know what United did to us last year.
Yeah, exactly. Leicester played a game more, 6 points ahead of us. Man United, 4 points ahead. They're all within touching distance. Obviously, Man City's won the league, game over there. There's no reason why we should be. For me, where I will start to really rate this team now is if we can actually not make me nervous at the end of the season. Don't have me in fear. Don't have me battling and wondering what's going to happen. Don't make this closer than it needs to be. This is a talented team that should be in the top 4 this season comfortably. That was everybody's prediction, top 4, but make it comfortable. 3rd, 2nd, make it comfortable. That's what I need to see. Going into the Everton game, obviously, we know their threats. Sam, what do you make of, obviously, just Ancelotti and the job he's done there? Because, obviously, former manager did bits here, unbelievable bits. Do you know what I mean? Won the title, record. It was
unfortunate to get sacked, to be fair.
I think the most unfortunate sacking we've ever had. If there's one team I want to do well, that's not us. It's actually Everton. Do you know what I mean? If I could have Chelsea and Everton qualify for the Champions League, I'd actually have it. But obviously it don't work like that. Right now we need to win. I mean, what have you made of just Everton this season in general?
No, I like Ancelotti, man. Like when he came to the Prem, like you said, it was probably the most unfortunate sacking that we've had being Chelsea fans. Yeah. So when he went to Everton and with the project that they're trying to build there, I was like, yeah, that's a good opportunity for him. Obviously he's getting older as well. He doesn't need the pressure of winning titles, but for a team like Everton that are trying to get into Europe, trying to battle for the top 4, like I think it was perfect for him. And then the first few seasons, it was like I think he was struggling a little bit because the Everton players, like you have to build a culture within a team that has never had a culture of winning or battling for these type of things. So, like when Moyes was doing it, it was like they were praising him so much because it was an anomaly. It was like, wow, Everton are really up there. He's making them this team that are battling for the top European spots. But now it's like, this is with the money that you've got, the wages that you're paying your players, this is where you're supposed to be. But I think now this season, we've seen like an evolution in the sense of where they actually believe, like they look around their squad, they're seeing their defense. Like even Pickford had a bad period, but now he's doing all right. Like they've got Digne, they've got their midfielders, Rodriguez coming in, and he proved the doubters wrong, and he's actually contributing quite a lot. Richarlison, I think Richarlison's going to be quality in the next few years, and I think having a manager like Ancelotti saying such good things about you, like, oh, this player can be world class, this player can do this, do that, you're going to buy into it. Do you get what I'm saying? I even saw an interview with Iwobi the other day. He was like, when Ancelotti first got the job, when he walked in, there was complete silence. Like he just demands respect. Like you see Don Carlo walking through, you're gonna be shook. Like you're gonna be thinking like this is a privilege to be playing for such a manager. So I think now that they're up there and they're winning games 1-0, like 1-0 here and there, they're not conceding. They're really starting to believe that this is what they can do. They know this season is a bit of an anomaly with so many teams up there battling for top 4. Yeah. Now it's kind of, it's hard to even, like, that's why I understand what you're saying. We need to kind of push away from the rest of the people trying to battle, because if we don't, we're going to see ourselves in a dogfight where we're looking at every result every single week saying, oh, have we got games in hand on them? Are they doing this? Are they doing that? We don't need to be in that position, because right now, if they beat us, they'll be level, or 1 point. They'll overlap.
If they beat us, they'll be ahead of us, and I think they'll have a game in hand as well.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's how quick things can change. Do you get what I'm saying? So we need to kind of go into that game with the same energy, the same urgency that we had against Liverpool, and really like rate Everton. Everton probably have more of a threat than that Liverpool side because they're on the upturn. Like they're excited right now. They think they can beat anyone, and to be honest, they can with the firepower that they have. So yeah, man, I'm expecting a lot of energy in that game.
Yeah.
Do you know what's funny about this game? Yeah, in the reverse leg, they had no fullbacks, right? And they played two.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That
We didn't take advantage
because we didn't know. The thing is, we couldn't, because naturally they're so used to going like that, but they were so defensive because they had two natural centre backs playing there. It was like we can't get through. We didn't have the ability to penetrate. We haven't even got that better in that regard yet. Anyway, this time the game will be different because Dean is actually playing.
Yeah.
I think Coleman's injured, so you probably have
Holgate, maybe.
Holgate, right back.
Who was right back the last time? I'm just trying to remember his name because he's a baller. He came from Norwich.
I think it was Godfrey and
Godfrey.
Had Holgate the other side, and it was like, bro, they're playing 4 centre backs. We can't beat this. So now they're going to be a bit more open, and I guess what will be interesting is what our approach to that is. Like, are we gonna be defensive on the left-hand side because of Digne? Are we gonna put Hudson-Odoi back wing back so we can force Digne to go backwards? Are we gonna try and put Werner in between their two centre halves, or is it because it's two centre halves and Werner might not have space to go in behind? We're going to go with a conventional striker. That's where the conversation becomes interesting. And of course, how are we going to do against their midfield? Because Doucouré will play, Alan will play, but no Rodriguez means that you probably have Davis. Okay, I'll probably I'll probably take my chances in there against that. Like we could rise to that. Yeah. So that's where, and then on the left hand side as well, like do we have the return of Alonso?
For me, no, absolutely. I think Chilwell's got to play. I think if Iwobi's out there or anyone like that, I want Chilwell. Anytime I see a bit of pace on the wing, which is most of the time now, do you know what I mean? I would prefer Chilwell. I think Chilwell's played well the last 2 games as well. Yeah.
It's just his decision making in the final third. That's the only thing. That's the only. Some of the positions he picks up is like, I think it's more frustrating, and I see Tuchel getting really frustrated with it. It's just like, fam, you're actually in behind. Obviously, there's going to be defenders coming at you in that, but that's what Alonso has over him. Like, his decision making in the final third is normally spot on. Like Chilwell, he can't. Sometimes he doesn't get it past the first man. Sometimes he shoots when he should cross it. Sometimes he crosses it when he should shoot. And it's just like, if he gets that decision making right, like Alonso wouldn't even be like, Alonso would just be backup. It wouldn't even be a thing of, is it Alonso or Chilwell?
Thing is, Alonso's crossing is not even the best either. It's really just the shooting in the final third. For me, the crossing and taking on a man, that's not there for him. Do you know what I mean? Taking on a guy, crossing the ball, it's not consistent either. So I think this left back department is the one area of the team where if anybody grabs it, anybody gets themselves sorted, then they're clear, because it's not a position of high quality right now. And Chilwell, he should be the one to grab that. Do you know what I mean? He should be able to dominate that position. There shouldn't even be a debate, really. That's the whole point of him coming in. Do you know what I mean?
That's the irony of the situation. Like, the irony is Alonso is not going to get better. This is Alonso. Like, we've seen Alonso for long enough to know that he can do good in attacking, he can score goals and everything, but defending, he's not going to get better defending because he doesn't want to defend. Like, he can't play left back, and he's always going to do those things that frustrate you. So Chilwell should kind of be looking at this in terms of, I came as the big signing. Okay, it's wing back, but that should be more advantageous to me. I need to cement my position. He shouldn't allow complacency to come into his sort of thinking. And I reckon he will. I reckon he will cement it. But yeah, I guess if we're doing lineup, like, I would probably keep, you know what, I wouldn't keep the back four the same. I'll bring Hudson-Odoi back in. I'll bring Hudson-Odoi back in because... What did you
make of Reece James? Because a lot of people obviously want Hudson-Odoi high up the pitch, but...
Reece James was, he like, I proper like Reece James, but there's, I don't even know what the right way to describe it. It's just like, we know we can get more from you. But it's like, every time I see him on the ball, it's sometimes he's overly negative or like nonchalant. Like, it's like, nah, bro, when Hudson-Odoi is on the ball, you can see what he's trying to do. Like, do you get what I'm saying? Like, when the ball comes, he like goes back, he goes in the middle, or he turns and he's going at the fullback. With Reece James, it's just like, sometimes just like, bro, like, give me a bit more. There's been a few games where I've been like, yeah, this is the Reece James that I want to be playing a right wing back or right back. But the first half, especially against Liverpool, I was just like, bro, come on, we need more from you. Like, we need you to be locked in, like 24s, not just in and out of the game type. He had a better second half, but yeah, man.
I felt like manhandling Trent was so personal. So personal. Fisting up Trent, it was so personal.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like, again, when you have wing backs, I think I mentioned a few times here, like naturally your headset is I'm going forward before I'm going backwards.
Yeah.
Hudson-Odoi is always going to have that because he's a winger. And that's not a fault of James. It's just that he doesn't have that winger play within him. Like, I'm going to beat my man and knock it in. He puts in some lovely deliveries, but I could probably say the same thing about Trent. If I put Trent right wing back, I don't think he would start beating his man and everything or doing that. Trent gets lovely deliveries in, but I don't think he stands up a man 1v1, does a step or something, then cuts in and does stuff. That's not his sort of game, if you get where I'm coming from. So it's not that he's not performing well. It's just that I feel like if we have Hudson-Odoi there, we can have a bit more, especially on that right side. And it will make Digne go backwards. And that's what I want. I feel like if we're bumming on forwards, their attacking threat from that side has to defend, and that helps us out. So that's why I would have him in. And then the rest of the back four, or the rest of the back five would remain the same for me personally.
All right, so we'll go through our lineups then. I mean, we'll start with Mendy. Obviously, he's been good this season for obviously what we expected as well. Money we paid, and not a lot of people knew about him. Well scouted by Czech. He's had a few moments here and there where, you know, people have been a bit like, whoa, what's going on here? But for the most part, a lot of clean sheets in the league, clean sheets in the Champions League. Can't really ask for much more. The only thing I'll say with him is that what is interesting is that obviously we're linked with Donnarumma. What do you guys make of all of that? Because he, for me, has been like extremely good for us. You know, I wouldn't say he's world class, but I would say he's just the level below where he's a very good goalkeeper. I feel like people always force the need or feel the need like they have to give everybody a world class title just because they're playing well. I would just say he's a very, very good goalkeeper. But I mean, also, would you agree with that, Sam? And then would you be going after Donnarumma in the summer for a goalkeeper?
I think I was gonna say, he had someone in the chat just reminded me actually that he had that moment against Everton when he just rushed out. Yeah, and it was just like, oh, bro, like that was a bit mad. But aside from that, like every keeper has their moments in it. Like we said, I feel like a lot of the fan base are actually backing him to do well because of his story, but because of how much he wants it. Like, you want a keeper in between your sticks that actually wants it. Like, sometimes it's a bit too much. Sometimes he does rush out, but he's still learning. And in the position that we're in, I wouldn't go for Donnarumma if it's gonna cost us going for another player, or if it's gonna restrict us from putting more money into getting other delivering in other areas that we actually need to sort out, like our front line. Like, we need a masher, and to get a goal scorer, we're not going to be able to negotiate small fees, because if we're going to go for someone like a Haaland, a lot of people are going to be going for him. Do you get what I'm saying? So we're going to need all that we can get. Obviously, Roman's probably on just spending mad bread, but at the same time, you don't want that situation where you get a Donnarumma in now. You've got Mendy, you've got Kepa, you've got Caballero as well. Like, I think that the three keepers that we have now are good enough for us to go forward. Like, Mendy doesn't. It's only a few things. If you know them footballers like Sunday, like I was talking about my friends the other day, about the difference between like a Sunday league player and a player that's played in like semi-pro for a long time. You know, semi-pro ballers, they make everything look good. Yeah. Like, when they get the ball, you can just tell that they've got technique. Like, Mendy's that type of player that comes from that Sunday league, and he doesn't necessarily look as pretty when he's kicking the ball or when he's taking a touch, and it makes you a bit nervous. But more time, his deliveries out when he's got pressure has not been bad. Like, it's not terrible. It's not something that we need to worry about. It's not like, oh no, don't pass it back to Mendy here. Yeah, like he's evolving, and you can tell that Tuchel's kind of trusting him a bit more, in a sense where even in the most high pressure situations, the defenders, the midfielders are giving it back to him, and if need be, he's clearing it out. So I think just stick with Mendy, keep Kepa in and around the team, and try and build his confidence, because we definitely need to make that money back. And maybe next year, because I don't really see any other top team going for Donnarumma, because he's going to cost a lot. Like, he's young and he's
think
AC Milan's biggest asset as well. It's running out. It's running out.
His contract's running out, and
Yeah, that's the only reason why I bring it up. It's because the contract's running out.
It's
okay. That makes sense.
The way goalkeepers have like a long lifespan, right? Mendy's 29, but
yeah, probably the same amount of first team football as like Mason Mount as well. If you look at his career,
exactly. That's the thing, and like the question you have to ask yourself is Mendy gonna get better? And then it's the opportunity cost. Okay, if we went in for another goalkeeper, how much does that cost? Does that take away from elsewhere in the pitch? Like, I don't feel like it's a matter of like straight urgency right now. And this is not me saying that, Mendy's world class and everything. Like, I like Mendy. Like, I feel like he can pull a couple of saves. Yes, his first touch scares me, but the defense around him don't seem too scared about it. Like he's mentioned, still pass back to him. I feel like he's operational enough to keep us going. But the last time Chelsea tried to source a young goalkeeper and try and plan for the future, that was the Kepa experiment, and that didn't go so well. And Kepa's still only 26 as well.
Yeah.
The reason why I can't judge his situation is because I don't know what the club want to do with him. They may think that, you know what, as he's getting older, we can start bringing him back in again. We don't want to get rid of this 70 mil investment. We don't know those conversations. So for now, as it is, I would say, you know what, probably just leave it as it is. If there was an opportunity where you can have an absolute steal, of course you buy the best players in the world. But I don't know if the Donnarumma situation is that. I know his contract's running out, but I mean, who's his agent? How much are they going to be asking for? What AC going to try and do? Like, it's all mental stuff. So I don't feel there's an immediate need to change him. But in terms of the game, I definitely want him starting. I feel like the back unit, he's an integral part. So that's what I just said to him. He's
he actually is in terms of a keeper. He actually kind of is young. Like 29 is quite young, especially for
Toby's on a wind-up thing. Like I said to Toby, the top 7 clubs in the Premier League will worry about their business, and obviously the rest of you in the league can do what you're doing.
Mendy's Mendy, man. Like, it's not a situation that like it will keep me up at night if we don't like change him. If the opportunity comes,
that's how we felt. How we felt when Kepa was doing a madness. Like, we're thinking, like, when is this gonna end, bro? But Mendy came in. He showed the shit, like, and you actually felt a bit more composure. Like, when someone's shooting, even the game, I can't remember who shot from short distance, and he saved it, and it came through a group of bodies. Even though who was that game? Who was the game before Liverpool? Was it United?
The game before Liverpool was United.
When the ball came into the box, someone shot, and there were so many players in front of him, and he was just there. Cause man's so big and he's so on it, like he just flung himself at it. Do you get what I'm saying? That's what I need. Like, that's the urgency I need from my keeper. Like, you can tell that he just doesn't want to concede a goal. Like, and if he's gonna grow from that position, 100%.
You can probably pay him is Kepa had, like, from shots outside the box, the worst save conversion in like Europe and something like that. Like, people don't look at Mendy and think, okay, I'm going to victimize this guy.
Just keep him anyway.
It's the way that he asserts himself and commands the box. For me, I know we talk about ball playing and whatnot, and obviously you want your goalkeeper to be good on the ball. I don't know how good on the ball Donnarumma is in terms of an upgrade in that perspective. For me, it's more about age. And obviously the potential Donnarumma has to be probably the best goalkeeper on the planet in the next, maybe 10 years after this crop of goalkeepers is done. But what I love so much about Mendy is the fact that he takes ownership of situations. He doesn't run from them. He doesn't hide from them. He almost sees it as his duty and his responsibility to make a very, a crazy situation seem calm. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's where I rate him so highly. So it's good to get back to the old style of goalkeeper. That is quite tall. That is quite imposing. And like I said, I think I'm agreeing with you guys. It's not a massive thing that I feel like needs to be ticked off the checklist in terms of we need a goalkeeper. But if the money, if the club sort themselves out and they got extra cash and they want to do wages with Donnarumma and they found a new home for Kepa, then cool, it makes sense to me because Donnarumma is going to probably be one of the best goalkeepers in the world. You don't want to miss out on that. But it wouldn't be one of my priorities, put it like that. There's definitely 2 or 3 positions in the team that are more important. But we would all start with Mendy. I've made Topes a mod for anyone that was asking. So yeah, so then you'll be able to see his trolling clearly. Onto the defense, right? I think the defense is, from what we were speaking about earlier with Christensen, I think it seems like the defense will stay the same. Christensen, Aspie, and Rudiger. And the thing is, yeah, with Silva is I'm all right with that right now, because again, the defense is playing well. They're keeping clean sheets. They're not allowing shots on target. And I feel like Thiago Silva is like that John Terry guy, where even if he's not playing, he'll still have his influence. Dressing room, on the sidelines, he's still gonna, you know what I mean? You're still gonna feel like he's back, just not on the pitch. And of course, from the moment one of these guys screw up, then we're ready to change things. You know what I mean? It's not like as if there's bare leeway here, because you've literally got one of the best centre backs in the Premier League chilling, waiting for one of you to mess up. So it just makes sure that they're on guard and they're not messing about. I mean, would you guys go with the same back three then?
I would. I wouldn't change it now. And I know they're saying he's back fit, but it's like there's no need to risk him. I know some people would argue, but we've got Leeds coming up. Would you not prefer to play him here instead of Leeds? So then you're just chopping and changing too much at that point. I think there's not an urgent need to bring him back in. And as we've mentioned, if Christensen is, like we say, a confidence player, imagine taking him outside of the squad and then bringing him back in. I don't know whether he'll be able to cope mentally with that, because I've seen him when he's fragile. He's not the same guy he is right now. So I'll keep it the same. And of course, when you have that sort of consistency in the team as well, like it helps. Yeah. But at least these guys know that they have to perform even better, like you're saying, because we've got this mammoth of a centre back just chilling on the bench. So yeah, I'll keep it like that.
What about you, Sam?
Yeah, no, I'll keep it the same. I used to think like this is like FIFA, Football Manager. Sometimes when players come in, you've got a run of games coming in, you might as well just chop and change. But in real life, the impact that it actually has on the chemistry is a lot. And these lot are building the chemistry that is seeming unbreakable right now. There'll literally be no reason, unless someone like Aspie, because even though he's so consistent and he plays consistent every game, he doesn't drop below like a 7 out of 10. Yeah. At the same time, he still is getting older. And I don't want it to be a situation where we're then forced to make that change. Do you get what I'm saying? Right now, I feel it'll be better to, if we was going to see if a Zuma or even a Reece James could play that right centre-back role, I think it'll be better to do it while he is fit and while he can still come on and impact the game, or while he can still get some rest, because we don't want a situation where, like Thiago Silva, when he got injured, we're thinking, is Christensen going to be able to fill that gap? Luckily, he was able to do that. But if that happens on the right centre-back role and we're not able to make that change, then it's like, okay, now we're in trouble. So I would keep it the same, but also have that in mind. Like Reece James might possibly be able to.
Yeah, I think Leeds next weekend, when we do that preview just before Atletico, I think it's going to be interesting to see, because then you're going to have, like you're saying, you're going to have a game midweek where you're like, one eye on that. Maybe we should tinker a little bit and save these guys. Yeah. So I agree with you on that, because I think what we do at this club is we're in danger so much of running players into the ground that are durable, and we kind of take the piss with it. We saw it with Kante. And I'm not saying Azpilicueta, you're not even saying Azpilicueta is going to be affected, but why run the risk when you've got talented players? Zuma's still a good, very good player in the Premier League. He's still a top quality defender, just not maybe in this formation. Even Reece James as well, up and coming, can definitely do a job at right side of centre back, in my opinion, with his experience at centre back in the youth days. I think that position from right back to right side of centre back with the traits that he has wouldn't really worry me too much. We'll go to the wing backs as well. I feel like we kind of gave our wing backs, because Chilwell, we spoke about Hudson-Odoi a little bit briefly. I think I'll agree, because to be honest, I'm not sold yet. I mean, I think maybe I'm making too much of a big deal about Reece James at right wing back, to the point where I'm saying like as if he's not good. I think just on average, of course, he's a very good player in that position, but I don't think that's where he's best. And I think, like you said earlier, Callum Hudson-Odoi, I think he's got that urgency. Do you know what I mean? He's got that point to prove kind of thing about him, where he's everything, he's moving quickly, he's moving 100 miles per hour. So even the counter press in the game that he got substituted off of in the Southampton game, when Jamie Carragher done the analysis, his counter press was fantastic. Yes, he lost the ball, but he was chasing after it every time. He's very motivated right now. So I'd bring him back in there, and I'd definitely go Chilwell left wing back. I think last 2 games he's been good. Could add a couple of assists, like you guys said. And Iwobi on that side, the one thing with Iwobi is he's quick. Do you know what I mean? End product can be slacking sometimes, but he's very quick and physical. And I think that's where you'd want Chilwell to help Rudiger out there and double up if need be. I think we all kind of agreed on that one, didn't we?
Yeah.
I mean, where it gets interesting then is the midfield, because we just saw Jorginho and Kante run the game against Liverpool. Do you guys make any tweaks to that midfield to keep things fresh? Does Kova come back in, or do you leave it how it is? What are you guys thinking?
Good question.
Yeah, it's tight. I'm actually,
a rough one, isn't it?
Actually, I'm not sure. I think it's tight, man, because I can't really think of that type of game. I don't see like obviously Kante came in against Liverpool, maybe to just marshal Thiago out of the game. But yeah, like we said, Jorginho did that job like quite well. But in terms of the Everton midfield, I think I'd want Kovacic and Jorginho back in, just so we're a bit over. I don't know. It's actually, I don't know.
It's not an easy one, is it? I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Do you know what? It's a tough one. Because
you know the reason why
I feel like they'll come forward, because they're not. They've got too much weaponry up front for me to just chill and sit back and be defensive. I know last time, obviously, they had no fullbacks, but like you said, Digne's back. So I think where the problem lies is we don't really know how Everton will approach this.
That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah.
The reason why I would go with Kante and Jorginho is just in case they decide to do this 5 where you have Iwobi sort of as your wing back, as they did against Fulham, I think it was.
Yeah.
And they had whoever they had on the left. Kante is always going to get around. And if they open up the game, if they want to open up the game, Kante is the person you really want to have in there that's going to, sweep up, and then we can break away quickly. It even makes it easier for us going forward. I mean, you don't have Mason Mount in front of you. I just feel like with how they performed in that last game, that they clearly had that understanding family of them two playing with each other and understand how to play with each other to a team. I haven't seen that for a long time.
Finally, you're right.
I would like to see it again. I would like to see, okay, if we're playing a team that maybe isn't leaving as much gaps, can we still pop it around them? Can we have Kante essentially playing 2 positions around Jorginho? Can Jorginho show that level of performance again? Because again, that's what it comes down to. It comes down to consistency. Like, I don't want to see these performances for once and then we drop off again. Like, can we do that again? Because a midfield of, is Gomez fit? That's another question. I'm not trying to pick
played the last game.
But with what you're saying, Mayowa, my only thing is, if they're going to play like the midfield that you were saying they played in the game against Fulham, where they kind of overpopulate that midfield, wouldn't it make sense for a Kovacic and Jorginho, 2 players that are very good at getting out of those type of situations, to play in this game? Like, if they're not going to even, and they're very press resistant as well. Like, it's not like something like if we're just seeing them getting bombarded in that situation, I would trust a Jorginho and a Kovacic more in that situation over, let's say, a Jorginho and a Kante. So I think that's the only reason I would play Kova and Jorginho, just because they seem more secure in those type of situations. And I do see Everton kind of overpopulating that area, because they've got a lot of midfielders, man, like central midfielders.
Just to add to that as well, I think Tuchel said at some point in the week that Kante, he's going to manage him. He's going to manage him. He's not going to overuse him. He's going to manage him because of the past injuries, and he's going to make sure he looks after him. And I wondered to myself, after all the energy probably exuded against Liverpool in that massive performance, potentially he'll take him out of the Everton game, give him that break, give him the week off, because true say Leeds are going to run.
That's what I was mentioning before. And
then Atletico, he has to start. So he's actually going to have 2 games that are going to be extremely energy sapping, where Leeds, we outrun them under Lampard, but regardless, they're going to be high energy and high intensity. Atletico is going to be a long freaking game mentally, forget physically. So I think if he's going to get a break, probably this Everton one is actually the only opportunity. So that's why I would slightly lean towards that Jorginho and Kovacic partnership. We know it can be reliable in big games. We've seen it against Tottenham. We've seen it before. So it's not something that we're again, it's like Christensen. We might have had our doubts, but it's not something like where there's evidence to say that it will go wrong under Tuchel, because it hasn't. I think the system's been brilliant. And again, I think Jorginho, just to give everyone this point as well, I think he's only lost one game this season that he started, which was the game against Liverpool where we went down to 10 men. Arsenal, we lost, but he came off the bench. So his win record when he starts is so good as well. I know we're probably not even debating if he starts, but I think that guy deserves a lot more credit as well, because he's been a lot of this fan base when Lampard was in charge. We spoke about it, I think. We spoke about kind of making our players look like as if they were worse than they were. And I was guilty of that as well, even with these defenders, quite clearly, because they're not dead wood. You know, they can be used in a system. Long term, we'll see if they take us to a title. That's where my skepticism comes. But they're still good level players playing for a top club. That if you do something, you can get something out of them. Jorginho is made to be look like as if this is not even Premier League level player. You know, can't run this, that, and the third. Look at him. He's playing like how he was playing under Sarri. This is the level that people talk about when they say Jorginho has something to offer.
It's the issue with it is, because a player doesn't play the way you want him to play, people then think that, oh, he's not good. Like Jorginho was never, ever, 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 ever this midfield break off play that he's running around tackling people. It was never him. It was never his game. And I think when you have a manager that kind of favors you, people kind of look at that away. Same thing happened to Mason Mount. Oh, you're Lampard's son. The whole Sarri thing. Oh, yeah, it's because of Sarri's hair. Like, Jorginho is a very specific sort of player. Like, the way he plays is very, very specific. And it's no shock that when we sort of play in a way that accommodates for that, he looks really good. Now, don't get me wrong. With every player, they're going to have their faults where they can pick up. But when we play to sort of his strengths, we look good. And like, even in that Liverpool game, what impressed me the most was, typically, I call him a metronome. He kind of does these sort of A-B passes. A lot of his passes were expansive. It wasn't just sort of to me, to you, and then I'm going to tell you guys where to go. He was like, all right, cool. We're going through that channel. I'm finding Werner. And I feel like, with him and Kovacic, there obviously is an understanding there. You probably then require the defense to be more defensively astute, because they can't sweat out. But typically, sometimes, especially with people like Jorginho, his positioning is his defending. Yeah. If I'm here, there's no passing lane here. If him and Kovacic are there, you can't pass through. You have to go wide. So that could be enough, especially if it's against the Corey, who was it, Alan and
no, James Rodriguez is the key, isn't it?
Yeah. If there's James Rodriguez in, you want Conte in. But if it's not, I had the argument for starting Kovacic.
Yeah. Even Pep wanted Jorginho for his possession style. Yeah, 100%. I want to move on, obviously, to the front three then, finally. I mean, the front three is an interesting one because Timo, for me, scored. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm running that to the walls fall off. I'm adding that. I'm not one of these guys that like to do strikers, GA on penalties won and put it all together and hype it. But he scored that goal. Do you know what I mean? That was a crime against nature. That was actually a crime against football. Do you know what I mean?
Nah, they violated.
Only so many times I can see a brother not get his just deserves before I lose the plot. What do you want to say that, Sam?
No, he violated that. They actually violated Werner. Like, fam, the guy is struggling to bag goals, bro. Like let's actually give the striker the benefit of the doubt. I think they're now talking about changing the rule next season from the 1st of July and giving like strikers the benefit of the doubt and that. And even with like, we've seen silly decisions with handballs and things like that. It's just like, bro, like, what, like, if anything, VAR has exposed how bad these rules are. Because if the refs and they always get that Peter Walton done saying, oh no, this is the rule book and all this bollocks, yeah. If these are actually the rules, yeah, then that means football has they've just been, I don't know what they've been doing in their meetings when they're thinking about how this works, because how a man can be offside that much, like when I saw the line originally, I thought, oh no, it's a goal. And then I saw a different angle and then a different line. and they were like, "Oh yeah, clear offside." Like they didn't even give it an opportunity. I said, "Damn, man, this is ruining the game, man." Like they need to. I think even Fulham are probably going to be one of the big Fulham and Brighton. To be fair, like this is going off, but those two teams have had decisions go against them that could cost them their position in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Like, if I was their fans, I would be fuming, bro. Like we're talking about a game that we still won and a striker that's struggling, but these decisions are costing other teams like life or death situations, man. It's nuts, man.
It's nuts for me. Like I said, the only reason why I'm not going on about it as much as I would be is because we won. If we didn't win, that's what this whole preview would have been about. Still, I can't lie. I would have been too triggered to talk about anything else. Mayo, who would your front three be? Because for me, I'm thinking Giroud might have to come back into this because I'm thinking we're at home. I don't know how high that Everton line is going to be, but if Ancelotti is very smart and he knows, for me, Liverpool didn't clock on quick enough that, you need to stop playing a high line. I know it's Klopp. He's never really going to do that. But when you've got Werner running in behind and you talk about the passes in behind, Kante, Jorginho, more expansive passes, looking for over-the-top balls. For me, first thing you must be thinking of is we need to drop off. And they never did. And they just allowed us to keep playing the ball in behind. I don't think Carlo will be like that. He's very tactically flexible. And I think he'll go with a lower block because he knows that's what we struggle against. If there's one thing Chelsea haven't been able to break through yet and get goals through is a low block. They always just nick a goal or don't even get a goal if you see what Man United did last weekend. And then Everton, unlike United, probably have got a little bit more cutthroat up front with Richarlison where they can nick a goal. And their manager's a little bit less scared where, we'll nick a goal if we have to. So I think Giroud for this up front might be the way forward. I know a lot of people haven't suggested him in the chat, but just think on it, maybe potentially. And then I look at maybe Werner and Mount. I don't know.
I'm thinking Giroud, Werner and Mount. I feel like this sort of game, you can sort of be flexible. What, if anything, if we learn anything from that Liverpool game, it's when Werner's cheating, quotation mark, that's what I like to call it. He's on, like, the guy's mad. Like, if you can pick up the half position between the centre back and the right back, or centre back and left back, or between the two centre backs and go through, you're sweet. And who is better than link up play than Giroud? That I feel like it's something you should utilise more. What we're seeing as well is Mount wants to take players on now. Mount's showing ISO moves, like Mount's doing crossovers and all this type of crazy stuff. It's mad. So with those three, you can have a situation where it's 1 and the 2, and Mount goes and helps out the midfield if it needs to be, or you can have it where it's 2 and the 1. There's flexibility to it, which is what of course Tuchel likes. And of course, if you then got your wing backs of Chilwell and Hudson-Odoi, you always have the ability to whip in balls for Giroud. Yeah. Again, 2 good centre halves. Yeah. And like we said, but they naturally have a centre back at right back if they're playing.
It'll be Holgate, so that will be 3 man in the box, really, in terms of set pieces.
Exactly. But even so, if we have someone like Werner out there, let's see what can happen. I know he's not traditional wing play. I'm going to start beating the man, but can we make it interesting for you, especially if you're going to tuck in naturally? So that's what I would go with. I feel like Tammy, fun fact, he's still our top goal scorer in the Premier League with 6 goals.
He's not getting a look in, is he, right now?
I don't feel like he'll play because he's not getting a look in. I think he may come on, but I don't think he will play. Pulisic still hasn't done enough to demand a start. Yeah. And Ziyech in his starts has not looked up to the pace. And of course, like we've mentioned, this is a must-win game. Yeah. We have to beat them because they've got a game in hand. So why not give your best 2 sort of options from that can give you a bit of dynamism as well? That's what I would go with.
Yeah. How do you feel, Sam?
You know what? Yeah, I think I'd switch it up. But this might be an extreme. Only this is personal sentiment in it. Like this is how I feel. I really like Havertz is a player that I need to come back into the squad, in it. Like I need to see the best of him at Chelsea. Like, and I think in this game, especially like Mayo said, that they're gonna have a lower block. I think it might be interesting to see like a front three of Mount, Havertz, and Giroud. Like I think if we're gonna have Hudson-Odoi and Chilwell getting in on the lines and delivering the ball, why not give them more of a problem in the air or in the box with Havertz? We know how good he is in the box. We know that he can fill those areas that, let's say, Werner gets into certain areas, but he doesn't commit as much in the box. I think that's just one thing. That's one problem I've had with him. But obviously, he's still learning. But with Havertz, I think that he would be perfect in that position. I think he would. He has something to prove. Do you get what I'm saying? Ziyech got his opportunity. He had two opportunities playing in the game. He didn't really do a job. So now if he sits on the bench, he can't complain as much. Havertz come back from injury, had a few cameos here and there. He came on 3 minutes the last game. Please start the brother, because his confidence is just gonna be like, it will just be so low if you're giving him a 3-minute cameo. Then the next game you're giving him another 15-minute cameo, and like you gave Ziyech a chance. Give Havertz a chance in the front three and see how it works. We still got Mount that can create, that can score, that can take on players as well. We've got Havertz in the hole that can also be very dominant in the box. And then we've got Giroud that can link up with them, man. And then if anything, Werner off the bench will cause them a different type of problem in the second half. So, yeah, man, I'll go with Havertz, Mount and Giroud.
I like that. Either one, actually, I'll be okay with your explanation. That is actually solid, is sick. Because I've always said to myself as well, I think Havertz, if he gets in the box, he has that aerial ability. He's very tall. Do you know what I mean? He scored a few headers as well. And we're speaking about a defence like with 3 centre-backs as well. That's one way of combating it, is that we do get a little bit more numbers into the box. Haven't really been impressed with anyone outside Giroud when they're in the box for us this season, to be honest. Do you know what I mean? In terms of, attacking the ball when it comes in, no one's really committed to it. Abraham, Werner, no one's really been there. So I definitely get that. So either or, I actually be very happy with either of those front threes. And I do want to see Havertz as well. I think I called for him to start up front one of the games previously, but it feels like as if there's a player that just needed a little bit of confidence and say, listen, here's your opportunity. He is one of those guys in the squad.
He is the guy.
Yeah, 100%.
I feel like trying to ease him in. Like Havertz is a long time investment, isn't it?
Yeah.
Especially if it's true that he's had long COVID and anything. Like if he's fit to start, sick, get him in. But I feel like this is definitely a game where if we can get a position where we're commanding it in the first half, second half, straight, he's there. He's there. 10%. Go and finish this game for us. Go and announce yourself to the Premier League like as this player. Because like I've always thought that he could play with Werner. Like how I think he's done that for Germany before. Like So like the options there's so many options with a player like him. So yeah, let's hope he definitely gets more than 3 minutes in this game.
100%. And someone said here, we can't stick Havertz against Atletico Madrid without minutes. I don't think he'll play against Atletico from the start anyway, even if we did get him minutes. I'm looking at who's available. I still feel like Kova and Kante will probably get that midfield slot on Mount just ahead.
But Mount can't play. Mount can't play in the...
Mount can't play. Sorry, so it'll be Kante, Kova. Wait, Kante and Kova. Jorginho is suspended as well, isn't he? Yeah. Kante. It'll be Kante and Kova. And then. So
he kind of need this is this will be the perfect opportunity for him to kind of stamp his authority in to get into that game, because we're gonna need someone to take up that Mount role. Like we're gonna need it. I personally think that he'll probably start Reece James and then maybe put Hudson-Odoi in the front three, but we don't really know with Tuchel. But yeah, that's what I'll do. But if Havertz has a good game, if he does start and he has a good game, then there's no reason not to play him.
Yeah, so you actually, you actually probably will have to start against Atletico, isn't it? Interesting one, actually. Very good point. All right, let's get some score predictions and we'll wrap up. Ralph is in the building. Big up yourself. I won't get on to you today. Mayo, what's your score prediction for this game, bro? This is a rough one. I can't lie, it's a tough one.
I think we're conceding still, but it'll be 2-1. I'm going 2-1.
Damn, goal
conceded. The way Richarlison's moving right now, it's I'm not even bigging him up because I like him. There's a certain sort of like silly movement, and especially when you're trying to get to back three. Yeah, like one of the people don't pick you up, he's through, and like he seems to be really thriving from it now. Like, and Sigurdsson can find that pass. Sigurdsson is a player that people kind of like never really got to where he should have got to. Yeah, but he can find the pass. Like he knows how to find the pass. So I hope that our back three kind of like, and that's why the person in the middle has to be orchestrating. I hope that we can nullify that. But this is the sort of game where those sort of edgy forwards that like to move and weave in and weave out can get it. So yeah, I'll go 2-1 Chelsea.
And it's the same. Man said, wrap up. We just got here. Listen, if you just got here, you got to get on time, bro. Do you know what I mean? We've been going for an hour and nearly 10 minutes, bro. You're late. You took lateness is greatness too far, Ellis. That's what happened, my guy. Listen, when it comes to this score prediction, yeah, it's rough because Sigurdsson, you mentioned, he's quite dangerous against us record-wise. He actually does cause quite a few problems. Sam, what do you make of this, bro, score prediction-wise?
Well, I took Aspie out of my defense in FPL, and I'm Richarlison staying in my team in it. So I think I have to go with like either 2-1 or I just that them games, like I'm hoping that in the next couple games we just have that game where everything just clicks. Like where we just score more than 2 goals, and like it's just like we're here. Like
we're talking about 2 goals. I'll take
even more than 1 right now, bro. Like we need that game where everything just clicks in it. Like I'm gonna be optimistic. I'm gonna say a 3-1. A 3-1. Yeah, 3-1.
Energy. Okay, everyone's going with a goal. You know what? I'm going to stick to no goals conceded. I'm going to go 2-0. I think that's what I predicted on the Big Six. I do think it's going to be very tight. This might be our most difficult game of the 3 between Man United and Liverpool and Everton. And let's just listen. W settings only. Let's just go and back the win, people, because at the end of the day, people talk about Liverpool if we don't win 1 point behind. If we don't win, or we lose, Everton will actually leapfrog us if we lose. Or if we draw, Everton can still leapfrog us with the game in hand. So we have to win just to stay ahead of them under our control, which is what it's about. And obviously we need to chase Leicester and Man United as well, which is really what I'm looking at. I'm looking up, to be honest.
Word.
So people, big up yourself. Ellis said you woke up at 7:40 to be here. Yeah, I'm sorry, bro. them US times are mad. But like I said, there's going to be the playback. You know what I'm saying? You can leave a comment. I'll debate it with you in there. If you had any questions, I'll respond to comments on all the YouTube videos. Big up to everyone in the live chat. I really appreciate you all joining. George predicted a 0-0 to kill me. Big up all your damn selves in there. Mayo, bro, let them know where to find you. Final thoughts, let them know, bro.
Mayo Quadri _ Twitter, Instagram versus Stoppage Time TV. Tune into Stoppage Time TV tomorrow, because if City beat United, it's gonna be a very good episode. And if United win, it's gonna be a very good episode. So it should be fireworks either way. So tune into that one still.
100% people. Culture's gonna be given. He's gonna be one way or another. It's gonna be either way. It's gonna 100%. It's gonna be fireworks either way. Sam, bro, let them know what's going on, where to find you, and anything that's coming out.
I don't know why I just had a brain freeze there. On YouTube, Sam O. You can YouTube that. I'm two subscribers away from 500 subs. Like, so,
get that. People,
help your boy out
now.
Help your boy out
now. Link
Obviously,
is in the description.
the link is in the description. And I just it'll be nice. It'll be nice, a little milestone. But the footy agenda, the footy agenda is gonna be coming weekly as well. I missed last week because I wasn't well, but all the agendas that you see online, discuss them on that show. And Football Daily. If you're not following already, do some lives on there and some live reactions. We might actually do one for the United game today. If United lose miserably, it's gonna be a great day. You know what I mean? So let's hope that's the result. But that's me.
Let me go onto your channel now, Sam O. People, link is in description. See 501. That's what I'm talking about. Get that up.
Come on. Hey, preview gang. You did that.
Link is in description. The whole, do you know what I'm saying? Obviously, this is a great partnership. I want man's channels to grow. Link is in description. Go and subscribe to Sam's channel, because he's extremely creative individual. The directing that he does, he does more than just what you see on camera. I'm only a guy for on camera. Behind the scenes, I can't do shit. Sam can do everything behind the scenes and then on camera as well.
You're setting up the live though. Setting up the live it's not easy.
The live ain't hard. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, 5 hours plus a day. If I do 3-4, that's when it takes its toll. But I'm not gonna lie. Setting up the live is calm. Make sure you also make sure you type in Sam O onto YouTube and go and subscribe. Someone said the link don't work. Why is the link not working? Every time I try and use Sam's link, it doesn't work. Let me see.
There's an imposter.
Fam,
You know what's funny? I got a video, not even football related, coming out today. Made an Afrobeat song in 1 hour. Mayowa, you might need to check that one out still.
Is it?
I might have to jump on the charts still.
Nice. Let me see.
I'll check it out still.
Not block. Okay, I put a link in the chat. See if that works for you. The link is in the chat there. If it doesn't work, because every time I try and do Sam's link, I copy and paste it and it doesn't seem to work. So I don't know what's going on there. But Sam O, very simple, yeah? Not complicated. Sam
It's not complicated still.
Get it done. This here, you see this? Sam O. I want it done. Yeah, make it be done, people. Go and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Thank you. I can see the man them are subbing. Good stuff. It worked.
No, I love it.
So the link is in the chat. I might just put links in the chat from now on. If I don't know what the description is doing. YouTube trying to shag everybody. So yes, make sure you go and subscribe. Check out 360TV, Stoppage Time TV tomorrow. Culture's gonna go off. I'm looking forward to it. And yeah, big up the man them for joining me once again. And yeah, like I said, I'll see you guys tomorrow for the review. And yeah, hopefully we win, because if we don't, you know,
get this done, man.
We're gonna kick off. So it's gonna be, you know what it is. It's W settings early. In a bit, people. Thank you so much, and bless up yourselves. In a bit.